here.
This meeting is being recorded.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to those that are watching us on the replay. We just had a really great discussion here. Sorry you missed it, but we are ready to start with our Money Mindflow for today. So, last week we talked about getting clear on money goals. And what I want to say to around that, because sometimes that putting a number on your goal is difficult for people. And I get that. I understand that. Being in business, it's important that we have some money goals, some specific money goals, because if we're too afraid to put a number on it, then what are we doing in business? We're here to make money. That's what we're here to do. And while we do make that beautiful money and sustain our lifestyle, we are in service to the world, in service to the people around us. And this is the new way. It's not just going and getting a job down at the gas station to make some money. It's like, no, I'm going to make my living, make my money in a way that serves the world to be a better place. So this is huge. And we have a really hard time with that as women. So if you are finding that, maybe you don't have a business that it's like, okay, I want to make this money, but I don't like putting a number on it. It just gets me all tangled up. Then describe your lifestyle. What is the lifestyle you would like to most have? The lifestyle of being able to have time to be with your kids or have time to, for me, it's like, I want time. Like, I love my mornings to be able to have my meditation, to be able to do my journaling, to be able to reflect and contemplate, go deeper, maybe to have time to work out or have exercise, do yoga, have time to go for a walk, have time to create and paint. These are all my desires. But I also want to be able to, have a lifestyle where if friends of ours say to John and I, hey, we're going to Florida, you want to come with us? And to be able to say, oh, do we want to do that instead of having money control our decision where we say, no, sorry, we actually get to sit down and go, oh, would this fit for us? Is this a good thing for us right now? So I want the money there to be able to take spontaneous trips. I want the money there to be able to go on retreats to different locations in the world, have that fun. I mean, that's when I'm having the most fun, even this year, going to a retreat at Mount Shasta and going to a retreat in Oregon and, doing these things that fill up my soul. And I want to have the money to go shopping once a month for me to get some clothes because I'm feeling that need right now, spring fever, I think, but I really need to get a new wardrobe going. So, or you might have, do a family vacation or treat people, like just be able to give to different, like I just love giving to um animal shelters, right? Like that is, breaks my heart when I see all the animals. Like, anyways, so to actually have the lifestyle to be able to expand and have adventures and do the things. And from there, you could look at then breaking it down to, oh, well, what would that look like as far as how much would I need for my shopping trip and how much would I need for my expense? And we did this. We already did this in the Mystic business, right? We broke down what our monthly income needed to be in order to reach all of our goals financially, right? Do you remember that chart we did? I showed you guys. So putting in all your expenses and then the extras, how much is going in savings, how much is going to this or that. So we know what the number is. Sometimes we're just afraid to speak it out loud. And then I know what the number is as far as how much I need to make in a month. And then I know what programs I have and the numbers of people I want to come in order for that to connect, right? To cover. So if you don't have the business started yet, you don't have the structure in place, Like you can say, oh yeah, I want to be a millionaire. I want to have a millionaire business. I want to be in this successful business. Um, well, then get the structure in place. Like then you need to actually create the programs and get them out there, right? So um there is that balance between structure and flow, right? But the money will come in through the channel of least resistance. So we talked a little bit about that, like that the money could come through your spouse. It could come through winning the lottery. It could come through an inheritance. It could come through selling stuff. Like it can come through in any way, shape, or form, as long as you're open to receive that. You're not narrowing it in. And I'm very like, I want my business to grow and I want the money to come through my business. That's what I do desire. So that's kind of where I'm opening the channels more. But every once in a while, I get a surprise of like, oh, John got a raise. Woohoo! Right? Cool. So, um, and we also talked about looking at the mother and father wounds where you have been abandoned or unsupported in your past and how you may be perpetuating that situation for you right now, because that's what we're used to. We're used to it. So when I look back, it like from a financial perspective of like, okay, well, no, not a financial, I shouldn't say that. Where was I unsupported as a child? Okay, when I looked at my dad, it's like, well, he was gone a lot. I did not feel like my dad never had that energy, that male masculine energy, strength. He's a very soft soul. He's a very gentle soul. And um he taught me to go after my dreams, but there was never a reward there for the dreams, right? So I watched him going, oh, that's interesting. Now, um, he didn't have the finances, so anything that I wanted, I had to go, and I started working when I was 14, because anything we wanted, if we wanted nice clothes, we had to go buy our own, right? And so that was the rule. They'll give us the basics. We always had the basics. We always had just enough. We always had 3 meals a day, not a lot of snacks or anything in the cupboard, but we had the basics and for survival. And so that taught me that here's where you need to be, just enough, right? And so I recognized, hey, there's a pattern there of just enough and not overflow, not excess. No one, there isn't any like other, like even in our family here, if I wanted this lifestyle, John has always been content. He's content with what we have. Why do we need that? We're good, right? He's a happy guy. I'll go to work every day. I'll bring the paycheck home. I'll hand it over and we're good. And I've been the one that's like, no, I want to take a trip, or oh, I want a bigger house, or oh, I want this. So I did it. I was like, well, if I want that, I'll go get it. I'll go after it, which is not a bad thing, but it's just an awareness of, oh, because that's the way it always was, right? Hmm. So I'm not expecting the universe to support me. I have to go work, work, work for it, right? So these are the kind of patterns that we can become aware of, or the programming that has been instilled within us. And as soon as we become aware of it, oh my gosh, that alone is huge. So as soon as we become aware of it, then we can start to go, oh, okay, so here I need to be aware of when I'm trying to control, when I'm going full force ahead instead of leaning back, leaning into the universe, calling the universe in as my partner, saying, hey, can you help me with this? Like, where can you support me here? Let's pull this support in, right? Um, so that working hard for more money, that's a limitation that we created. Now, one thing that we are shifting our perceptions now, because we are in a whole different world. We were raised, many of us, And if you, Lane, had a mom that was doing it all on her own too, same sort of idea. But I was brought up in the 70s. In the 70s, the society was very based on the land shortage, overpopulation, like not enough food for everyone. Like there was this fear of this is where we're going. We're going to be overpopulating the world. There's not going to be enough land. There's not going to be enough food for the people, right? There was such a fear around shortage. And so if you were asking for more when there's a fear around shortage, then that was perceived as being greedy, right? So we were raised to not ask for more, to just accept that there's just enough. Be happy with what you have. Be grateful for what you have. Don't ask for more because you're being greedy and selfish. Don't you know there's a whole world out there? Don't you know there's children that are starving? Right? Yeah. That one. That one. Yeah. Sorry, Delmaine, you're muted. Say that again.
That one was a big one in our household because if you didn't finish everything on your plate, they said there's starving people in Africa.
Yeah.
And that was what they'd say. And so we learned to finish everything on our plate, which actually creates a problem for being fat, right? For being heavy, because you were never allowed to take more than you would eat. So your eyes are too big for your mouth or whatever for your stomach. And so that one was a big one. I didn't feel the sense, and I grew up the same time as you, that there wasn't enough or that there was overpopulation. I never felt that. Our families were actually, they were middle class, but I would say upper middle class because we were getting more all the time. And my dad was starting a business when I was a teenager, and everything was so affluent because of the oil business in Alberta, right? Alberta was a
Right.
little different than I think maybe we're
Yeah.
in Ontario at certain places. So we were very much in an affluent, work hard and you will make money.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit different, but that same idea is that you have to work hard to make that money and focus and have a plan and all of that stuff. And then you'll make it. And Alberta was very affluent. So at that time, it wasn't until the 80s that they started to have a little bit of a crunch with the oil. But yeah, very different than now. Now I would say it's completely it you feel like, oh my God, what's going to happen?
Right.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. That's totally. Yeah.
I have to share about that comment too. My brother-in-law, he recalls his mom doing this, and it'd be my mother-in-law, and she says, "There's starving children in Africa." So he would look right at her and go, "Then send it to them." It's like, oh boy. And I mean, here he is, this like all 8-year-old kid saying this, and it's like now when we're our age, we kind of look back and go, yeah, it was pretty sassy to say that, so but that's the way we were brought up like that. It's like, and I think that's the news feed that we got. We had the UNICEF commercials, and there
That's
are
what I was
starving
gonna
children in
say.
Africa.
Yeah.
And so that's all we had for social media way back when. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah. That's
so I think
exactly what I was
for,
gonna
for
say,
you to
Kelly.
bring that up, it was, I mean, Delmaine at the exact same time as we both had the same comment, very
Yeah.
similar. So
Totally. But the point was it was very limited. Like they were limited. They were coming out of the wars. Like their background, their history was on be resourceful, save everything, only use the minimal of what you need and all of that, right? And I'm not saying that's wrong. What I'm saying, because that's was what was needed at that time, but what I'm saying is that now we are recognizing it's not that I want you to go out and use all the resources up. It's I want you to realize that we are in a whole new awareness of this five-dimensional world, that there is way more here for us than what we used to think, because we were contained. We were like, behave, be quiet, don't use up anything. And then now it's like, wait a minute, there's an infinite amount of creativity. There's an infinite amount of abundance. If we allow that to flow into our lives, there's more than enough for everyone. And we don't have to overuse or abuse the earth doing it, right? So there is beautiful ways of living in a synchronistic dance with Mother Earth. There's, not everybody wants more stuff. It's not about the stuff, it's about the feeling of expansion and limitlessness. And so this is the new way of living in this world. So the realization of limitlessness, whereas before it was you're limited. And the people that raised us were limited. So now we need to look out to the universe and go, wait a minute, what's the truth here? Where are we? And allow those beliefs, those patterns, those programmings to dissolve and fall away. And being aware of what they are, what's coming up for us. It's like, oh, if I use this, if I buy more of this or use it all up, but am I going to be hurting the world, hurting other people? And just catching yourself in those moments and going, oh, what's that? Where'd that come from? Right. And being aware of it. So being aware of where you're limiting yourself. Where are you just sticking your toe in the water instead of jumping all in and being that limitless being that can trust the universe, that can say, okay, I'm all in. Let's go. Let's do this. And be okay. Like, I know that the universe will support you in that, and know that you're needed out there. That's the thing too. It's like for more and more of us to be in a work where we are serving in some way, and it fills our heart and it helps the world and it helps us feel more expanded and more alive and more love in our heart. So we keep waiting for signs, for the guarantee that if I jump all in, it's going to be because the universe told me everything's going to be okay, right? Go. Right? Oh, I got the sign. I'm going to be a success. It's like, no, go, be there, go and jump in, because the growth you're going to experience is amazing. And yes, if you're following your heart, if you're doing what your heart is calling for you to do in the work that you do, in the money that you receive, it's going to bring it in. Like, definitely the flow. Like as soon as I left. So if you've ever read Take the Leap, the book Taking the Leap, I can't remember who wrote it, but I can post it in the group. There is in there your zone of excellence, right? There's 4 zones, and the zone of excellence is the zone of doing what you've been trained to do. So, for example, I was trained to be a teacher, and I was really good at it. I'm really good at being a teacher. I get it. I'm good with the kids. I know how to deliver the information where they get it, but that's not my zone of genius. My zone of genius is right here, right now, doing this, painting, creativity, going deeper into soul work. That's my zone of genius. So it was really hard to leave the zone of excellence because I was good at it and it was giving me an income, right? It was feeding that. But as soon as I left and went into my zone of genius, things started to fall into place, right? Things start to fall into place. And part of that is money started flowing in, so that I didn't have to worry. Like in September, I had a huge shift in that thinking because I was like, okay, I'm doing this. I'm retiring in June. I had decided last October, retiring in June. Everything's good. Everything's going to be great. And June happened, and July and August, I was like, what have I done? Right. And September. And then in September, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be fine. Like, I was all worried about finances, right? And oh, it's going to be tighter. We're going to have to be more careful. But then I thought, you know what? I just had this huge release of we'll be fine. If I need to, I'll go sub. I'll go work somewhere if I have to. I don't care. This is going to be fine. I can let this go. And it was like this huge, it just felt like everything loosened up and let go. And it's been fine. We've been maintaining our lifestyle. Like this is fine and it's growing. And because I'm putting more time into my business, of course it's going to grow. I'm doing what I love doing. So when you get into that zone of genius, it's not that I'm going to become a millionaire necessarily doing this, but it's fine. Everything's flowing. It's coming in. There is an ease that is flowing. And it is when you fall in line with what you are meant to be doing, the universe provides for you. It really does. So, are there still going to be dry days or up and downs? Yes, there's still going to be that. There's still going to be struggles in life day to day, the normal stuff, the worries, but we're going to be fine, right? It's all going to be okay. So it's letting go of that grasping and that gripping of guarantees that I need to know. I need to know, universe. Tell me, give me a sign. Is this going to work? Right? The universe will be complete, will not tell you anything. And so, because that's the growth, right? That's the growth. That's the expansion when we start to trust ourselves and we feel that abundance within us, then it begins to reflect outwards. So also when you're going, okay, I've got this business now, eliminate the time frame. You've got a whole life ahead of you. This has been huge for me. I was telling, I'm turning 60 this year. This is a big year. This is a big thing for me. I keep saying this, but it is big. I'm wrapping my head around this number. 50 was easy. 60 is like, I feel like I'm running out of time. And I have to keep telling myself, no, if I live till I'm 120, I got another 60 years ahead of me. All right. Like and they're going to come up with all sorts of new ways of healing people. So I can choose. Um, so I have to keep saying, no, Janice, you could have another, 30 years even, right? 30, 40 years. Like just relax. There's so much time ahead of you. Let yourself grow and evolve over time. Take the time frames away that I have to okay, they say within year 7 of a business is the year that everything changes. That's what they say. They let go of that. Let it unfold and grow and know that it is growing and evolving and going the way it's supposed to go. So, knowing that I'm a work in progress, evolution and growth through a lifetime. And, so decide and declare the lifestyle that you want. Be aware of the limiting beliefs that are coming up, the programming that came from your past. That shit's not even yours. Like, let it go. It's not even yours. Read books on this. Millionaire Mindset. We Should All Be Millionaires is another good one by Rachel, forget her name. I've got, just keep looking. I have Amanda Francis. This is her journal, but Rich as Fuck. That one, it's her book. And they're all about opening, receiving, allowing yourself to step away from the boundaries, from the programming that we've been given, and let yourself believe in more, receive more. Women especially have such a hard time believing in themselves and opening to receive more. I mean, some women are really good at that. I shouldn't say all women, but a lot of us that are used to taking care of ourselves and being independent have a really hard time allowing that receiving to come in. Okay, so I got a few questions for you to play with this week. If you could create any financial reality, what would you choose? And I just keep thinking, you know what? I want a financial reality where finances aren't controlling my decisions. What are you afraid of? If you have that financial reality, what are you afraid of? Because a lot of times it's a success, right? That we're afraid of rather than, I mean, we're here, we're good. This is comfortable. We're good with where we're at. We got this. It's familiar. We're able to stay here. That's your energetic minimum, right? Your energetic minimum is where you are right now. What's your energetic maximum that you can allow in? And why are you not letting it in? What's the fear, right? What stories or memories really bother you from the past around money? And right now, as you live and make day-to-day decisions, be aware of, are you acting or reacting from a place of fear around money? Or are you going after the exciting experience? So be aware of where you're acting from. Are you gripping or worried it'll run out? We are expanding to hold more. So what do you have more? What do you have more room for? If you imagine yourself expanding to hold more, how much can you hold? When does it start to get like, oh, I don't know what I would do. It starts to get a little tension there. So another thing you can think of, what fears and limits are coming up for you? Like, what if I put all this energy into it and that was a big one for me because I was worried about burnout. Universe, it has to be worth it. What if I put all this energy in and nothing happens? And the what came back was, so are you going to stop? No, but just what if? It's like, no, I can't stop. It's just this inner like push that I have to keep going and doing what I'm doing. But what if it's not enough? What if it's not enough to retire on? What if it's not enough to meet my needs? Right? Are you going to quit?
So when you're talking about what if, and you say, what if it's not? What if it is? It's like, okay, clearly you haven't really set your number at the what you believe it to be, because it's you keep doing the what if, and that's just I'm writing like crazy. I'm sure you see, but it's like, and as soon as you said that, will you stop? No, absolutely not. I'll keep on going until I keep going, and it's like when we set that bar at, okay, I want to have $1 million just from Janice's business. Oh, Janice made $1.2 million last year. You still going to stop? You made it. Okay, let's just move that bar a little higher.
Yeah.
So that's what I picked up on this. Am I on the right page?
Yes, absolutely. Keep moving the bar. There's always more. There's always more to create and do. And that's, and, you know, I'm not sure. Well, I don't know. If I got to $1 million, would I want to move the bar? I don't know. At this point, I think I'd be like, I'm kind of good here, right? But there would be more fears and things to work through then. And it's also then not about the money, it's about, well, what more do I want to create? Do I want to purchase a piece of land that I can have a center on or something? Like, okay, then I've got to move the bar up, right? When you have a place for the money to go, it's so much easier for you to keep growing and creating and going for more. It's not about just the $1 million
I think you're
necessarily.
in a flow. You kind of get
Right.
in a flow, and then that flow just expands.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The
Because
dream.
that's why millionaires are able to make more and more money. Like people that have money are the ones that make money because they keep seeing opportunities to get bigger or to start something new, or I
Yeah.
think that sometimes that's where the limits are, is if you don't have that money to get started, then it's like, how do I get it going? And then once you have it, then it starts to even get bigger. So it makes sense that people with money get bigger because they have the money then to put into the other things that are flowing, that are coming
True.
in. That creativity is growing.
I would actually say that it is the desire for the dream that gets it to keep going in the flow. So you can be at rock bottom and have been there, and you
Mhm.
can, it's like the bottom of the pool, right? You're
Yeah.
there. You've been at rock bottom and you're like, enough of this. I don't want this anymore. And you push off and you shoot up and you get to the top of the surface of the water and you're like, okay, this is good. I can breathe. I can relax. But if you don't have another dream to go for, you're
Mhm.
going to stay there. You're going to stay there. So it's like, okay, so now what is going to push you up even farther? You came from here to here. What did you do to get yourself there? Do the same thing to go
Mhm.
further. And
I
so,
think there was a millionaire that actually tested that theory. He took away all his money. Like he started as if he had nothing. And
yeah,
he went to a town that nobody knew him, and he made money off of just his personality and his dreams and goals, right? And he did it. He was able to start at absolutely nothing and make himself so much money in a year because he knew it could work. And
yes.
it's all in that energy, right?
That is like,
Yeah.
there's nothing stronger than being at rock bottom and you saying, like, oh my God, something's got to shift. I got to change this, whether it's a relationship, a health issue, like that gives you drive and focus, determination, and you are so clear on where you want to go. And then, yeah, for most people, they'll get to that comfort zone and stay there. Millionaires have something special in them that, like that guy, not
Yeah.
all millionaires, but that guy, that he can call in that drive at any time.
Mm-hmm.
And so that dynamic of calling in that energy and saying, okay, let me just do this challenge and see if I can go from here to here again.
Yeah.
And even knowing he's okay, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that energy, it's energy.
Yeah. Now I'd
Yeah.
like to ask Kelly, when she was sick, I'm just amazed at how well you are now. What changed in your life to make you well? Was it your belief that you would get well?
I took myself off all of my medication.
Good for you.
So all I do now
So
is
it was
herbal.
up here.
Well, I do herbal. So when
Mm-hmm.
I was on medication, I used to work in a pharmacy for 6 years. So I know the side effects, I know blah, blah, blah. And some
Yeah.
of my pharmacy friends said, how are you even able to walk on that type of a dosage? And I went, I don't know, because I kept looking at it going, I shouldn't even be able to function. Looking
Mm-hmm.
back, I have many of my friends going, yeah, you weren't that much fun to be around, but we all kind of stood beside you. And I said, yeah, why didn't anybody tell me? They said, you never heard it, because I was like a zombie. And like, I didn't laugh, I didn't cry. It was like, don't touch me. You're going to hurt me if you touch me. So I lived like that for 13 years.
Yeah. Like it just amazes me how well you are.
And I still have some health concerns.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes me 2.5 hours to get going in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Part of it is Janice's morning, the Soulfully Aligned Women meditation. So it's like, it's all in my calendar. The alarms go off. It's like, oh, I got to turn Janice on now. And it's like, I sit there, wait for 2 minutes, and then all of a sudden I get a notification that, oh, she's live. Okay, hi, Janice. and and then, I exercise, and I could say for the last probably 3 or 4 months, I haven't been following my regular regime, and it's showing up. And this morning's reaction was, that's what happens. It's like, oh, do I want to be heavily medicated again? No, I
Mm.
don't.
Yeah.
So my whole philosophy was proper sleep, proper nutrition, proper exercise, and proper spiritual health. So
Right.
that's what I did, and that's what
Right.
I continue to do. Yes, I fall off, and some days I fall down real hard. And
Mhm.
it's like that rock bottom, like Jana said, at the bottom of the pool. It's like, okay, how much farther can I get? There's the cement here at the bottom of the pool. Oh, look, there's a drain hole. I think I'm in that drain hole. There was part of my little toe that kind of stuck in there and said, time to get back up. So I was still treading water, and today I feel like I'm treading water. So I'm not sitting on the beach yet. I'm still treading water. But
But
thank you for
I
the
noticed that.
comments. It's some days are good, some days not so great.
But if you compare the way that you were to now, it's like you got your life back.
Yeah.
And we can
And
all do that in whatever way, shape, or form we need to, right?
yeah, and
it's work.
this is our money mind flow conversation, and when I look at it, it's like, okay, is mine money or is mine actually life energy? My money source is my life energy. So um I'm very fortunate to have the husband that I have that makes the money and makes it show up so that we can live here and have food to eat. I don't my currency is energy. And if I got no energy during the day, I feel like I am absolutely a pauper. And I don't know how to explain that. It's like mine isn't cash dollars. It's like it's not the cash. It's mine is like it's the energy to get up and get out of bed.
Yeah.
And
it
it's
is
like
the exact same thing. Exact same thing. It's what drives you. It's what is it that you do for yourself to bring in that power to get up and go? I think you just hit something really profound, Kelly, that it's your life energy and it's different for anyone. And that is exactly the life energy of like, well, what are you doing to help yourself feel alive every day?
Yeah.
And for me, my business does that for me. It just like whoosh, heightens my energy up. That is so important. I love that. Yes.
thanks for the questions, Delmaine. It was it kind of makes me kind of look at my life and go, So because it this is focusing on dollars. And I don't focus on the dollars. I focus on being able to get out of bed.
Yeah.
And whereas other people go, oh, I'm going to go make $50 in 10 minutes. And it's like, oh, wow, I'm going to go downstairs and sit in the sauna for 20 minutes just so that I can move.
Yeah.
And then I get on the exercise machine, and it's like the last 2 days I actually did an actual workout besides my exercise machines. So it's like, oh, hey, just paid myself.
Yeah, there you go. That's the way
So-
to say it. That's the way. You brought in the energy.
Just a different perspective.
That's awesome. And definitely for me, I have that energy. That energy is all over the place. I don't run out of energy. Very rarely am I tired. But of course, I'm dealing with the money energy that I'm going to receive, which is going to be fully abundant, and it's going to be no time before it. Oh, I'm going to just do it. I don't know if that Shasta space is still available, but I'm really thinking I'm just going to book it.
Well, for everyone, it's money, health, or relationships. That's where the channel is.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Lane. Oh,
Pardon?
I thought you were going to say something.
Oh, no. I was a while ago, just
We don't
the
give you a
millionaire.
chance.
What's that?
Just jump in when you.
No, I'm the youngest of four, so I've always been the one that I sit back, listen, and watch, and then if there's a moment, then I'll say something. But that's why I am the way I am. I'm the youngest of four, but the three ahead of me are very opinionated and vocal. So here I am.
We're glad you're here.
My excuse me. My uncle is a millionaire. I don't know how many millions, but he is a millionaire and he lives here in Old. And I watch him just to be like, you admire the guy because you're like, how do you do it? Like, how do you get this? But he's always been a risk taker, so he's taken risks. But you would never know he's rich. He doesn't talk about it. The other day we were at his house. He'll give you his whole life. Like, come live at my house. Like, both my siblings have lived with him. Like, this weekend we were up using his skidoos. Like, come use them. Just anytime, come to my place. He has the cabin in Saskatchewan, which would actually be a beautiful place for a retreat. So it's Imagine. It's not a cabin.
Where is it?
It's beautiful.
Where is it, Lane? Do you know?
It's on Lac des Isles. It's just east of
It's up north. Yep.
Cold Lake. Really beautiful. But anyways, we had a fire this past weekend with him, and like, he shows up with his coat on and it's duct taped. Like, it just blows your mind. Or the one year he was having a rough year going through a divorce, so we went and decorated his house for Christmas. Well, his Christmas tree didn't have any lights, and he's like, well, I'll wait for a sale on Boxing Day.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Where my mindset isn't like that at all. If I had all that money, I would have went to the store and got a new tree that minute, right? So he's also cautious about money, and that probably helps too. But he's also extremely generous. Has always served his whole family. So I think the generosity and the service is huge, but it's also, he's extremely modest. Like, the other day, someone's like, oh, your uncle bought the Rona in Olds. I'm like, he did? Like, you don't have any idea.
I know who his partner is then, because I'm friends with his partner. He's the silent partner then. Okay.
He's the silent partner. He's got money, but he doesn't want to run it. So you're friends with Garth Dagg, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Anyways, it's just interesting to listen about this, and then it's like, I'm thinking of him the whole time. I'm like, he does this. He's took a lot of risks, and sometimes the one saying that came up when you were talking is, sometimes you have to leave something good to get something better. And that's hard for me, because like, I like where I'm at. And my husband's always like, let's go sell the house, go move, and where I'm like, I love where I live and I love that I'm close to family, but then you'll stay where you are forever if you're like that. It's just hard it's hard to leave something good.
Yeah, and there's the difference. Like, the comfortable space is a beautiful place, and no judgment whatsoever from me, because I have created comfort in my life too. But there is the part of me, and this is not in everyone, that wants the extraordinary life. Like, I want more. I want to experience more. And that is the drive to go further. And that is not in everyone. And that's a good thing, because we need the Johns in the world to ground me, to go, wait a minute, slow down. Right? But if you have that, I think the point is if you have that desire, don't stomp it out. Don't push it down because the status quo isn't there. It's like, let it out. Let yourself dream. Let yourself expand and go. Let yourself keep going. And that awareness, that's usually the ones that, like, they're the dreamers. They're the loud ones. They're the, like, just, you're just being to this or to that. And so just be aware of what it is calling to you in your heart. And then just say, well, how could this look? What would this look like? What if? What if we did sell everything and go travel with the kids? What would that look like? For how long? And then what? Right? Like, just dream, expand, and be there. And that there is so many different forms of people in wealth. Like your uncle sounds like such a beautiful soul. And like you said, but I would be and you could be a millionaire like him and be this beautiful, kind, humble soul and buy the new Christmas lights, right? Like we
Mhm.
limit ourselves to, well, how should we behave if we're millionaires? John is, and we put them on a pedestal too. And John is very much like that. Do you know this superstar, whoever it is, still drives an old, 1960s Cadillac or whatever? And I'm like, well, good for him, but that's not what I would choose, right?
Yeah.
I won't have to
Totally.
fix my car at every corner. So, so it's okay. And there's some people that go online and flaunt what they have. It's like, well, good for you. That's awesome. Show me it can be done. I love the idea of that, but maybe that's not how I would spend my millions, right? Or my money. But you know what? I could buy my dad a wheelchair if he needed it, instead of sitting here worrying about how's he going to do this? Like, oh gosh, like what's going to happen? Right? My sister is on disability right now because she can't work. We don't know what's wrong. I would love to be able to pay her expenses for her and take that stress away. Like just to be able to give and to be in that position where you can be the one for your family. That is incredibly powerful, and allow yourself to be who you are. That's the biggest thing. Just
Mhm.
go for it, right? We've had such a good chat here. I had a beautiful meditation for you guys, but you know what I'm going to do? And I've been wanting to record it anyways. I'm going to create it, record it, and put it in. But it is an abundance money meditation for you. It is focused on money, but it could be anything. It could be life force, it could be love, could be anything. So, but this is focused on the money because as women in business, we definitely need to talk about this stuff, and we definitely need to let go of the limitations we place on ourselves as far as money. So
Today, I just want to share with you girls. Today was a real epiphany for me because of the money and my actual life, energy, health, blah blah blah. It was like, it's not about the cash.
Mhm.
Thank you guys for just like allowing me to blab and blurb. And if when you don't, like, when you hear yourself talk out loud, it's kind of like, oh yeah, I guess that is me, you know. And I don't see that. I don't talk about it. It's like, what are you doing today? Well, I did my usual.
Yeah.
Well, what's your usual? And then when I actually put it down on paper, what my usual was, and I think it's like, holy smokes, that was 2.5 hours before I even had a coffee. It's like, yeah, like I said earlier, in another podcast, another Zoom, it was like, I work very hard at doing this. So everybody says, oh, you work hard to earn money. Well, I work hard to have energy. So I lived that life of being in bed for weeks and weeks and not moving. And it's like,
oh
no, I don't like that. So that's like that guy that went, I could make some money, but I'm just standing here on the corner begging from people. And it's like, that's how I compare the laying in bed, waiting for some energy to show up. So I'm calling this my currency.
I
and
love it.
and
That is perfect for all of us because money is energy. It's
yeah,
just,
and
where is
when you
that
get,
energy? Yeah, flowing. What form is that energy taking?
yeah, and it's like when you sell a product or offer a course, you're doing it as an exchange, and it can be an exchange of cash. It can be an exchange for another course. It could be like, okay, I do Reiki. I'll send you a Reiki treatment, and you can send me a course. Or it's like, there's that exchange,
Mm-hmm.
and whatever you use as your currency is
That's all it is.
and it's like,
Yes.
we've all been calling it money.
Yes.
And I get stuck and hung up on that word. So
That
I'm
is-
using it as currency. I'm changing.
I love it.
I'm changing it from money.
I just love it. It's just, it's like,
just in my
or
own.
you could sell a painting in exchange for herbs and vitamins, right?
Yeah.
Like it just, or a treatment, like you said, a Reiki treatment or a reflexology or a energy acupuncture, anything. Like it's like what you need. It's yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
There's
just thank you for letting me blab and blurb and.
thank you. Because I love it. I love that you brought that into this. That is perfect. Because
Yeah, I
money is
like
got
how I like, Janice, how you said we've got the money, energy, and then relationships, because I never looked at it that way before. I knew that there, everybody has energy and I just relationships for me are just kind of my relationships with my family, not as a personal relationship as a partner. And I don't feel the need for that. I think I had a dream the other day that kind of said, yeah, you want that, but I'm not ready for that. And the relationships I have are different at the moment, but they're very important too. And I think I feel I have that, but it's the money that's only stopping me from moving forward with other things that I need to do. I know that's the one that I have to focus on. But yeah, I never thought about those as being the three top things. So that's awesome.
yeah, they are. And it's like a thread that runs through your life. So most people, like we all have experiences in all of it at some point in our lives. But for
Mhm.
like health has been
Oh,
Kelly's,
health as well.
yeah, health has been that string through your entire life, right? For somebody else, it might be relationships. For me, it's been money, scarcity, like the fear of being put out on the street and starving. Like that is a thread that has run through my entire life. Right from childhood, right?
This is the weirdest thing.
What?
This is just so weird. This keeps happening in this course, and I know it's just the way it's
No, it's
supposed to
not.
happen, but it's just like yesterday I was volunteering at my son's preschool, and I was talking to the teacher assistant there, and she works for a program called Threads of Life.
Oh.
And I was thinking about her all night. Like, she has a pretty tragic story, and it's basically it's a company where she goes around and talks to people about workplace safety because she lost her husband on a workplace job. So it was like really sitting with me, and I'm like, Threads of Life. Just trying to think, what exactly does that mean, and why would they call that company that? And look at you, look at what you're saying. Isn't that weird? This was last night. I am
I got
shit you
shivers.
not. This is so crazy.
Oh my gosh. That is so cool because too, yesterday I had a session with Micah and we were talking about a ritual and she was giving it to me for my family relationships. And it involved using a thread, like, and then burning it.
Ugh.
It's a beautiful ritual, but it's just the thread. The red thread is
Oh,
very,
yeah.
yeah, the red thread is very, very well known. And you'll see some people wear a red thread around their wrist. And it's the Mary Magdalene, the heart connection of sisterhood.
Ooh, I just got goosebumps.
Right? Yes, the
Oh,
sisterhood thread of, yeah, love. I'd have to, if you've ever read Mary Magdalene Revealed, it's a beautiful book by Megan Watterson. And it's a beautiful book. And she talks about the red thread in there. Yeah. Oh, that's so cool, Elaine. I love it. That is what happens. Yeah. Oh, it's not weird. That's the way it's supposed to be. When,
It is. It's so cool.
yeah. Yeah. So there's something there for you to just journal it out and see. Yeah. Okay. Well, you guys, thank you so, so much. It's actually been an hour since we started recording, I think. So, because we had such a long chat to begin with. That was fabulous. All right. So actually, I don't see you till next Friday again, the 23rd, for another another one of these discussions. So have a fabulous day.
Okay, and I will see you on Sunday, Janice. We're going to
Yes.
check out the dome.
Oh, you guys are
That's
going to the Sound
awesome.
Dome?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. I'm so
Yeah.
envious.
Well, you could come.
Well,
It's a
no,
bit
I
of a
You guys
drive.
enjoy it.
But yeah.
I would like to come out in March sometime and just touch some people. Maybe I'll have to actually come up to Rocky and touch you too down there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Show up in Olds and touch you girls.
Yeah, for sure.
That sounds
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah, we're gonna go Sunday at noon, Lane. So if you choose to go again, we were gonna go
Okay.
Friday, and then I realized today I was like, oh no, my son is coming for John's birthday. I forgot.
Well, that'll be awesome.
I would totally go again. My husband's away for the weekend, so it just makes it hard for me. But
Yeah,
you guys will have to tell me what you guys think
for
Yeah.
sure.
next week.
I'm looking forward to it for sure. I had
Yeah.
a
I
little
was-
Yeah.
an epiphany earlier this week with the dream, and I did another mandala with this is all super filled in with everything.
Oh wow.
Like
Wow.
it just I usually don't remember my dreams, and I had to literally wake up and start writing. So it has some things that I need to release, some limiting beliefs that came out in that, and so I had to write it down, and it was really good. So it makes sense to me, and that so I've refocused again, put a date on it, and I just kept writing and writing. So yeah. It'll
That's
be
good.
Yesterday when I was driving out to preschool, I saw a sign that said sound bath. And then I didn't see what town it was in. So tomorrow we're going out for a birthday party. So I'll make sure I really pay attention to the signage on the road. And because it's like, okay, we're all talking about this the last couple of weeks. So
Yeah.
let's check it out and see
Yeah.
where it is closer to me than out in Cochrane. So
yeah.
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 That's so fun. Okay. Well, you guys have
Okay,
a
you guys
great
enjoy.
week. Yes. I will see you
Yeah, you
guys
too.
next week.
Sounds good.
Other than Delmaine, we'll see you on Sunday. Okay.
Okay. All
have a great
right.
week, everyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Bye.